guys, this one's a little bit different for you today. This is less a tutorial video and more my video documentation of a journal sort of thing, for me to look back on in the future and wet myself laughing, I would assume. It's the first time I'm trying to make myself a printed circuit board expansion set. Basically condense everything down off of a breakout board onto a separate bespoke-ish printed circuit board design. So I've got the little expansion board, which is supposed to be for a Node MCU Wemos D1, which is the little tiny one, which has got two rails, one each side. So the idea is to take the 5110 screen off the expansion board, off the breadboard, and put it on all the way up the one side of the rails, and then because obviously put resistors in between the pins, all apart from one of them, I think, on the 5110 module itself. So put the resistors basically all the way across, in the same way as you would do across a breadboard, but basically solder them in, and then put some female headers on the other put some male headers on the other side and solder them there, in the idea being that then obviously hopefully it'll stand itself up, and it'll be far easier then to take in and out of various different projects that I'll end up making in the future. So what I'm doing here is I'm feeding the resistors through the holes on the expansion board, and then folding the leftover bits of the legs across, basically just to hold the resistors in place, so that they're flush against the board. Then what I'll be doing then is I'll be soldering them in place, just to keep them, well, basically to keep them there, keep them neat, and obviously keep the connections solid. And then once that's been done, and once they're secure, I'll snip the excess bits of the legs off, the tails that you've seen where I've folded them across there. I'll snip them off to make them nice and neat. I'll put some male headers on the opposite side to where the 5110 screen is, and that'll be it. Oh yeah, and on the remaining part of the Node MCU D1 expansion shield, that with the bits that came with the shield itself, there's actually a handy little spare couple of rows of pins that are quite handy for me to put a potentiometer on to control the contrast and the brightness of the screen itself. So with any luck, once it's done, it'll all be pretty much a self-contained unit, for use in any of my projects going on into the future, which should be nice. You can see on the shot there the couple of rows of excess pins that I'm on about there, where my finger is, which is where eventually the potentiometer is going to go. Yeah, so I say this is the first time I've ever actually attempted to condense something down off of a breadboard, off of a breadboard and onto a specific PCB like this. So that's why I'm actually filming this. I know it's probably not the most interesting thing you guys have seen, but yeah, I don't know if it all goes spectacularly wrong. This may well end up being my last will and testament. So yeah. So you can see there where I've just loosely placed in the male headers that will eventually end up staying there in the end. The idea being that the 5110 screen is going to be on the one side, and those male headers are going to be on the opposite side, so then it's going to form like a triangle and stand itself up. You can see here my piss poor attempt at soldering. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, in my defence, the connections, I say they've all been made like as solidly as I could make them. I mean, there's no massive amounts of excess solder or bridging or anything like that. So I'm as happy as I was expecting to be with it. In fact, probably happier than I was expecting to be with it. I mean, you can see there where I've had to put two of the solid cable, the solid breadboard jumper cable leads across, the grey one and the orange one there. They're on the two pins from the 5110 screen that you don't need a resistor onto. One of them's the ground and the other one is the either the light or the VCC pin, depending. You can see there now where I've actually soldered in the male headers. I haven't actually soldered the screen in yet. I'm going to see whether or not I can get it to work just standing like that. So then obviously I can take it out, and if I need to, without actually having to desolder the screen again. But you can see where the ribbon now of cables that are coming in, obviously to come out from those male headers over onto whatever project I'm making. So yeah, I'm quite proud of that. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next.